Is cat's eye over sexualized? Yes, but let me explain. Because I feel like this raises bigger conversation around girl groups, how they've changed, and what that means for society. Throughout time, girl groups have always been an important symbol for culture and society. I want to split this conversation up into four main parts. The first part being the idea of the sexy image. Now, early on, important conversations about how things might affect the talent coming out of these record labels and companies producing girl groups or idols or a new pop artist weren't really had. And if they were had, they came off more misogynistic than helpful or worried. For years now, we've been sold this image of more skin equaling more freedom and more freedom equaling more confidence. The public never truly realized in full how much it could have affected someone until it was too late. Prime examples are like Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, Kanye, different celebrities that you can see the effect that being famous had on them throughout the years. Amy Winehouse. Now, I know those aren't any examples of people in a group, but I think they are prime examples of the overarching topic and considerations that we need to take in place. Now, this flows into my next point of how it can affect a celebrity. When girl groups first became a thing, it was during a very conservative time. They usually wore long dresses and sang about safe themes. However, throughout time and when social movements started to develop, there was a shift. This shift equaled more provocative dressing as well as more provocative topics. I remember, I'm going to see if I can find the clip, but Kylie Cantrell, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but I remember seeing a clip of her and she was saying like how in Disney, working for Disney, it was like they always wanted their artists to sing with safe topics and like it's taboo for them to sing about more provocative themes. And she was saying how she wanted to explore like her music topics and not play in this safe arena that Disney was trying to promote or have their artists do. Number 3, impact on the public. The public is constantly vulnerable, whether that be through fake news, whether that be through celebrity, whether that be through advertisements, whether that be through the selling of something, they are always vulnerable. If celebrities who are often young have young girls looking up at them, that just creates a field of young people in mentalities that fester and grow into younger generations that like the kids of their kids and their kids, and that fester into their kids and the kids of their kids growing into different ideations. The music videos throughout the years and songs and topics have constantly came out with the idea of like doing these things is the only way to show confidence and security in oneself. And if celebrities do things to promote that, which people are constantly vulnerable to celebrities, then people are sure to believe them. There's not any other way to put it except constantly there is a vulnerability that's being taken advantage of. I feel like the reason why this conversation is so important is because it goes back to the idea of consent. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, if the artist consents to it, then that's fine. Then that's okay. Then whatever they want to wear, that's fine. I just feel like, yes, to an extent, but also we need to address the elephant in the room. And that is that a lot of times we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And yes, we shouldn't assume that something malicious is happening, but we should also consider that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be sexualizing this barely out of high school girl, or maybe I shouldn't be sexualizing this person that I idolize. I shouldn't be idolizing and sexualizing this person. Now, I'm a firm believer that I don't believe anyone should be sexualized, let alone a minor. Even if the minor is trying to sexualize themselves, obviously we shouldn't sexualize them, even if you're a minor yourself. I just feel like we have such a comfortable attitude towards sexualization of others that we forget that it objectifies people, and with that they feel like they need to fit some sort of image that if they walk out of, then the public will go in an uproar. The public will react strongly towards that. This reminds me of Billie Eilish, and she when she was in her early teens, she used to always wear baggy clothing covering her body. And then when she turned like around 19, like there was that one photo shoot that blew up, and people were so shocked because she was embracing a lot of her sexuality when she again wore very baggy clothing in the past. And I feel like that's a good example of like people are always so shocked to see someone who doesn't fit that or doesn't try to chase that sexy image. And I think that says a lot about society, because why, when a celebrity decides to have a more tomboyish look or a more casual look, it's suddenly such a shock. I mean, because there's expected to be a certain look, and I feel like that's the problem, because why is there expected to be a certain look when it comes to celebrities and when it comes to when people gain fame and what they wear and stuff like that. I feel like that's my main issue, that like it's expected almost, whether or not people want to think it is or say it is, or whether or not people fully understand it is accepted. It is sought after. It is wanted in one shape or another. Now, how does this relate to Cat's Eye? Well, Yunche was 17 when they decided to allow an adult moan in their beat in Gnarly. As y'all know, I'm 100% against minors having anything to do with corn. It's frankly very disgusting that even happened, and the choreography in Gabriella was not appropriate for a 17-year-old at all. You cannot convince me that it was. And I see a lot of people, like early on when they debuted and Yunche was like 16, like a lot of people are like, wow, I'm so proud of Hybe for putting Yunche in slightly like more covering outfits in longer shorts and stuff like that. Like, I fear that's a bare minimum. I don't know why we are becoming so complacent with bare minimum work with minors in K-pop, minors in pop. I don't know why we're doing this. Like, oh wow, a company put their minor girl in longer shorts, longer skirt. Like, wow, we should applaud to that. No, we shouldn't. That's bare minimum, very bare minimum. In fact, I don't understand why that shouldn't even be talked about at all. That's the issue. It raises conversation to see a minor girl in K-pop covered more than the non-minor people in the group. And a lot of discussion has been raised about the other members, because other members are like still teenagers, The other members are still teenagers. So conversations arise of like sexualizing teenagers and just like young girls in general. And I feel like, yes, I'm sorry, like people talk about, oh, they're grown up, they can da da da, and I agree with that to an extent. I just feel like, why is that accepted? Why is that widely, like, I'm trying to explain this in a way that doesn't sound like I want everyone needs to wear skirts all the way to their knees and ankles, and everyone needs to wear very long sleeves when they perform. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more like, why isn't there more diversity, if that makes sense? Like, we have to, like, there should be more diversity within what I see in the main pop media, instead of everyone in the same, like, either like very tiny bralette or a very tiny shorts, very tiny skirt, very tiny like heels and stuff like that. Like, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm speaking towards everyone and that I think everyone should like suddenly become like more modest or anything like that. I just have very important questions about like, who is this for? Like, is it for young girls to like young girls who are already looking at social media and growing up really fast? And is it like, I'm not saying it's for men, because a lot of them would say it's not for men. But no, because in today's day and age, we give too much credit to men. We now live in a day and age where like women are confident and comfortable sexualizing other women, and it's like, I don't think that's right. I think we should look at each other with respect, rather than, because no, it's not understood that mindset really puts into perspective like an idolization of people. Like, that's the issue. Like, when we put people on this pedestal, on this sexual pedestal, on this talent pedestal, it takes so much energy out of people and energy out of our lives and energy that goes back into the hands of these companies. These companies are feeding off of this sexual attachment that we have grown into with these different people. And it's not something healthy. It's something manipulative. It's something that we need to grab a hold of and something we need to say, okay, wait, let me stop this and let me find out, let me think about this, right? I love all the girls, and even though I know Yunche is 18 now, I still don't really care. I can't support a group that promotes such ideas, as well as the whole Mano situation that's going on right now, and as well as their lack of good music coming out recently. I think it's safe to say that some red flags are popping into fans' brains, and rightfully so. And a lot of hate towards people who are speaking up on the red flags are around Yunche's age, which leads me further into the idea that there's not so subtle manipulations that's happening behind the scenes. I just don't like the idea of like, okay, like like a 17-year-old suddenly turns 18 and it's like, oh, they're in booty shorts now. Oh, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't know why we're. What do you mean? Like, I'm not saying either to like hate on her or anything, or like necessarily hate on the company itself. I just with this whole video, I just want us to reassess and think about, like, as we go forward to new groups and new stuff like that, like, what groups am I willing to promote? What groups am I willing to be a fan of? What people am I willing to stand behind? These girls are so talented, and I just feel like sometimes this world gets very oversaturated with its sexual content. And I think that says something about what's going on in the world right now. Like, I feel like everywhere you turn, you will see some sexual innuendos and sexual uh, dressing, sexual this and that. And it's like, again, I'm not hitting on people per se. I'm just conversation and thoughts about the society we live in right now. You know? And for reminders, there's no need to rush into growing up. There's beauty in dressing and acting more modest, whether it be clothing or whether it be the way you speak to others and present yourself. And yes, this idea also, of course, applies to men. And if you want to, like, if you want to go after your dream or something, you shouldn't compromise the way you dressed or the way you want to act and the way you want to, like, be around others. So yeah, that's it. And I hope everyone understood the main talking points I wanted to point out, and that my main ideas are coming through the way I want. And yeah, I hope you guys have a nice blessed day. Bye.